9:32 here in New York. Fox News alert on Iran's president set to address the UN General Assembly. Senior correspondent Eric Shawn is live outside the UN again today. What do we expect to hear, Eric?
Yeah, Bill, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani will momentarily address the General Assembly. Let's take a look live inside the General Assembly hall. He was expected to start speaking about 10 minutes ago, but of course they have a mixture of speakers. He, of course, represents a country that is as the leading State Department sponsor of terrorism around the world, that has spread Islamic fundamentalism and supports terrorist groups such as Hezbollah. When he speaks, he is expected to portray Iran as a country that is fighting terrorism, not encouraging it. And of course, he will discuss the fight and the coalition effort against ISIS. He has been critical of that in interviews in New York, criticizing the coalition, saying criticizing the U.S. for not sending ground troops, and he has also called the airstrikes illegal. And of course, there also is the question of the nuclear program, with that deadline coming up on November 24th. The international watchdog, the IAEA, has raised questions about the Iranian nuclear program. This as Israel now claims that Iran potentially tested some nuclear detonating devices in the Parchin facility. That potentially new. It may come up in those nuclear talks. So right now, Bill, we are waiting for the Iranian president to speak to address some of the crises of terrorism, Islamic Jihad, and other issues in his speech in a few moments.
But what are his opponents saying, Eric?
Yeah, the opponents every year have massive demonstrations against Rouhani and the Iranian regimes, and this year is no exception. They will be across the street, several thousand people, and they've had demonstrations throughout the week. They say that Iran should not be trusted. They believe that Tehran has been trying to develop a nuclear bomb. They criticize its humanitarian rights record, the increased executions, and say Iran should not be trusted. One of the leading opposition groups is led by Maryam Rajavi of the National Council of Resistance of Iran. She says Rouhani should not even be allowed in the building.
Accepting a criminal on the U.S. soil and in the UN building as president of Iran is an insult to the great nation of Iran and the Iranian people.
And there are other speakers today. Of course, Ukraine President Petro Poroshenko will also address the General Assembly, that on what Ukraine considers the Russian invasion of their nation.
Something to watch. There will be headlines. Thank you, Eric Shawn.